Here's the thing, when I went down to Falmouth for the classics last time, I took my dinghy lock thinking it might be busy down there and I might be needing to lock my little outboard, dinghy outboard to the dinghy or something, and I took that whole cable and this old lock in my palm, and it was lying around in the bottom of the dinghy all the way down to Falmouth, got wet, and I did mean to put some WD-40 and some oil in it, but I forgot on the way back. And then I've got down here today and the thing is totally seized and I snapped the key off in it. So I've had to get Dan, the yard manager, to come around with some bolt cutters and snip this off, and a new padlock for my dinghy to keep my engine secured. So little things like that can really ruin a trip. You know, if I'd turned up outside of yard hours, like I often do on a Friday night or something, I'd have been sat there looking at that lock, unable to get to the boat, unable to have to sleep in the car and wait till they arrive in the morning. So, lesson learned there. I'm going to put that on the old maintenance schedule. Oil my dinghy padlock. Here we are in Floresca's cockpit. And there's my washboards, which painted a nasty brown wood stain, and we have flaky cockpit locker hatches all around, and as you know, if you've watched any of my maintenance videos, I made some new cockpit hatches this winter and now I'm going to fit them. And there we go, new cockpit locker hatches and new washboards for the companionway. And my new tiller is on. It's looking good. Very pleased with them. Nice to finally get them fitted. I've been lugging them around for ages. Now I've just got to get rid of all this old wood. So much work went into those cockpit hatches. I can't tell you, it's like 6 coats, 4 coats of epoxy and 2 coats of polyurethane UV resistant varnish, and it's nice to see them in place at last. And my new tiller, which has tried a little bit crooked. I'll show you as it's seasoned. There was a knot halfway down it which has seasoned slightly to one centre, but it'll do. It's I've got it all fitted now, so I shall take it back home with me, and I shall probably epoxy and varnish that as well. So there's the tiller, slightly bent but not too bad, and looks rather good, I think. It'd be nice. I'm going to sand it off and clean it off, and then I think the varnish will bring it up. I don't think I'll stain it. I'll just look for a nice sort of, I think just the epoxy and varnish will bring that up really nicely. And I've got my new tiller pilot mount on there, and the sealant's drying. Unfortunately, this bolt here, underneath there's some wood bracing that holds the fuel tank in under there. So I drilled through, but I haven't got a long enough drill or a long enough bolt to go through that. So that's something I'm going to have to sort out. But it's going to be really nice. Last time when I went down to Falmouth, because I was using this, which is, you know, I had to have mold grips holding that bit of wood together to hold that ferrule in there, which then went over to the tiller about here, and the throw was about that. You know, it was a really small throw, and the tiller pilot as well as that, there was play in the rudder. So the tiller pilot, it was doing an okay job, but it wasn't anywhere near as efficient as it could have been. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what that tiller pilot can do now it's installed correctly. Look at that, I've got muck on my tiller, outrageous. So there we go, one of many improvement jobs on Floresca, but that one's I'm really pleased with. I'm not sure how many reefs to put in today. Still calm. It's beautiful though. What a morning. Haven't even left the mooring yet. This is gorgeous. Well, this is jolly bloody nice. So we're heading 280 down towards Looe, and making about 3.5 knots, 3.5 in the gusts. It's a lovely bit of breeze and gorgeous day really. The wind's picking up a little bit of wind wave now. I expect that'll build a bit through the afternoon. I think I'm going to have to put another tack in to get up, to get south a little bit before I can make it into Looe. And what time is it now? It's 12. I should be able to get into Looe. High tide's 2ish, so I should be able to get into Looe 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even as late as 5. So I should have time when I get off Looe to put a little bit of jib out and get some fishing done, hopefully catch a mackerel for my tea. So there we are, making nice progress and a beautiful day's sail, really is absolutely stunning. Well, what a day so far. Had a cracking sail over towards Looe, and then the wind died, so I got the rod over and got 4 mackerel for my tea, and should do me tomorrow as well, I reckon. And then I'm now motoring towards Looe because the tide goes in and out of Looe like a toilet flushing. It really rattles down through there. So I want to get in at high tide, not mid tide, and so I'm motoring. I might sail the last bit, depending on. I just want to make some time so that I can get in there in good time. It's now 1:15. And I want to be there in 3/4 of an hour, so should do that. I'll show you my mackerel. There we go, 4 little mackerel. So we'll have 1 for tea tonight. Well, I haven't had any lunch, so I'll have 1 for lunch, 1 for tea later, and cook the rest to have cold tomorrow on the boat. Lovely. Here we are approaching Looe. As you can see, the beach is rather busy. Beautiful old gaffer, and it's blowing really quite strong now as the sea breezes are really set up. But it looks like I'm just about to drop into the shelter of the headland, I think. Got all my fenders out, ready to raft up, because you normally have to raft up in Looe. That is a lovely boat, isn't it? Look at that. Absolutely stunning. It's remarkable actually how steady these 2 boats are. That's a saddler, because it's really blowing. I guess we're protected from the worst of the wind waves here by the headland, so I guess that's not totally surprising. But I think when I get into the channel there, this is Banjo Pier, and when I get into the channel there, I think the wind's going to drop dramatically with that huge cliff. Here we are, moored up in Looe. I've got to say I did that rather nicely. I had everything ready. My forward rope and stern rope were all ready. but I had a feeling that there'd either be something here already that I'd have to get onto, or nothing, in which case I would have struggled to get my stern and my bow ropes up before the boat drifted off. So I put a rope on the mid cleat and came in right alongside the ladder, stepped up, rope from the middle cleat around the ladder, pulled it in, tied it off, and then I had plenty of time to go and do the bow and stern lines. So very pleased with that. It was very orderly. The water here is so clear, I think I'm going to have a dip off the boat. Never mind the beach. I'm going to hop in here, cool off, back up the swim ladder, and then cook a mackerel. Lovely.
Well, Cornish lads are fishermen, and Cornish lads are miners too. But when the fish and tin are gone, what are the Cornish boys to do? From Newlyn town we used to sail, through rain and mist and lashing gale. The mackerel shoals we hoped to find, and soon we left Land's End behind. For Cornish lads are fishermen, and Cornish lads are miners too. But when the fish and tin are gone, what are the Cornish boys to do? We searched the seven stones all around, but not a sign nor shoal we found. Round Island's light is now in sight, but Scillies are a barren ground. For Cornish lads are fishermen, and Cornish lads are miners too. But when the fish and tin are gone, what are the Cornish boys to do? The winding engines used to sing a melody to Cornish tin, and gie the lads they all would grin at payday on a Friday. For Cornish lads are fishermen, and Cornish lads are miners too. But when the fish and tin are gone, what are the Cornish boys to do? The water now reclaims the mine, and young men talk of old men's time, and go to work in gold or coal, or face a life upon the dole. For Cornish lads are fishermen, and Cornish lads are miners too. But when the fish and tin are gone, what are the Cornish boys to do? The hammer of the auction man is the only sound we soon will hear, and visitors will make the noise and order drinks from Cornish boys. For Cornish lads are fishermen, and Cornish lads are miners too. But when the fish and tin are gone, what are the Cornish boys to do? We'll do as we have done before, go out to roam the wild world o'er. Wherever sea or ship are found, or there's a hole down underground. Well, Cornish lads are fishermen, and Cornish lads are miners too. So when the fish and tin are gone, that's what the Cornish boys will do.
Look at that. That's going to be gorgeous. And a bit of salad and new potatoes. Boy, am I hungry too. Et voila. A late lunch is served. And the sun's creeping onto it. There we go. That looks delish. I can't wait. So hungry. Oh. Oh. Mmm. Mmm. That is good. That is really good. Sorry you had to die, Mackerel, but you taste so good. There's Floresca. She's taken the ground as the tides disappeared out from underneath her. So, not too bad an angle that, so I should get a good night's sleep on the lee berth, I think. So now to go and find something cool and refreshing, I think. When I set off from Foy this morning, it was overcast, and there wasn't much wind, and there still isn't much wind. But I absolutely love days like this at sea. We're plodding along at like 2.5 to 3 knots. Sails are up. The sun's now come out, and you can sit, watch the surroundings go by with very little to do. You can just read and keep an occasional, well, you got to keep a regular lookout because there's so many pot boys around. You don't want to get snagged on one of those out here. But it's just perfect. Absolutely gorgeous today. Yeah, check this out. Beautiful. Sails are set nicely. Oh, right up to the sky. You can see the cloud that we set off under. It's moving back over the land as the sea breezes kick in a little bit. I expect the wind will get up a bit later. But we're plodding along at 3 knots at the moment. And it's just gorgeous out here. There's Looe in the background, disappearing slowly. Perfect day. There's a load of gulls flapping around over there. I think there must be a shoal of mackerel around. I ate so much. Those 4 mackerel I caught yesterday I've eaten, and I can't face another mackerel. Otherwise I'd get the rod over. Dolphins up ahead. I don't know if you can see it there. Oh wow, come on dolphins, today would be absolutely perfect. I don't know if you can see that on the film. Oh, are they coming over? I hope so. I'm not going to start the engine and chase them today. Oh, they're leaping right out of the water. They're having fun. Let's see if I can attract them some other way. I might try whistling or something. I don't think I've seen the last of them for some reason. There's Rame Head up ahead. And I'll show you Floresca sailing herself, autopilot on, which means I can sit up the front here and just take it all in. Here we are, sailing along, auto helm doing the steering. The wind's dropped a little bit, slightly changed direction. I need to pull in the Chinoa a tad. What a day, what a bloomin' day, what a day! We're in the doldrums now. The sails aren't exactly slatting, but they're not full either. If there was any sort of rolly sea, it would be slatty, slatty, slatty. But yeah, Rame Head up ahead still. There's Rame Head. And the sail is full, but just not enough wind to really move us. I'm hoping the wind will fill in again though. I'm not going to be so easily beaten. Reach for the engine or something. I just fished a cuttlefish out of the sea, look, a little cuttlefish bone. It's rather cool, isn't it? Bit in the sun. It's still got sort of gelatinous membrane on the front of it. Look at that. That's ace. Well, this is curious. I have a very large, rather scary military ship bearing down upon me, heading straight at me. I'm hoping he's going to turn. I'm really not quite sure what he's up to. Oh, he is turning, but why is he going that way? Ooh, don't like this much. Might have to get the engine started, because his bow wave is going to be shocking. There she goes. It's got a bloody great big gun on the front of it. Not nice, eh? Look at that beauty. Well, I've got the engine going, but he turned. Oh, he's coming in. Oh, he's coming in quite so close for. Got the radio on, but didn't hear him. Lots of people coming out on the rear deck. Hopefully not to pick up guns or anything. Maybe they'll be getting a fishing rod over, who knows. Unbelievably, there's very, very little wake, which is nice. Oh, at the stern, I don't know what they're doing there. They're having a burial at sea or something. Right, I'm going to concentrate on the steering. Now, in case you're wondering why I've got the engine revving the nuts off, I'm just coming into Plymouth Sound here, approaching the Plym, and there's very little wind. It would have taken me forever to get in, so I've got the engine going and I'm taking the opportunity to open it up, get the boat going at over 5 knots, and hopefully that will help clean the bottom a bit, because the old anti-foul is one of those anti-fouls that slowly dissolves off the bottom, taking all the crud with it, but it does need a bit of speed through the water to do it. And although I'm more in the Plym and you get a bit tied up and down through there, in this hot weather I could see earlier that there was some growth on the bottom, so I'm trying to blast it off. Mind you, 6 knots isn't that much, is it? Or 5.5. Still, it's probably better than nothing. And I've been doing it all the way into the Sound now, so fingers crossed it'll make a bit of a difference. Never can tell.